What do we think about Reiner to Ryder? Do we feel like this pops his bubble a little bit? Or, I mean, he had a lot of good fights, a lot of good wins this year. What do we feel about him, Luke? I'll let you start with this one.
I think he showed his weaknesses, which I've seen before, which is wrestling. I mean, he had a couple takedowns, but his just positional wrestling is not going to be, you know, if you can't keep up, like even like Brandon Allen's not the best wrestler. He's decent, but Brandon was he was escaping everything, and then he started to put it on him at the end. It's like you cannot rely on jiu-jitsu, and you cannot people like holding on positions. Like you got to ride people, and you stop looking for submissions. You got to learn how to ground and pound. You got to ride people with your hips.
Luke, I want to ask you a
Not your
question
grips.
about that.
People are so grip oriented, and then when you hold on to grips, you start to burn yourself out. If you ride and you kind of surf the guy on the ground, and you keep your weight on him, you don't use as much energy, and you can hurt guys. And it takes all their energy to get up because your weight's always on them on your hips. People like you can relax. The guy can, if you're on me and like you're focused on grips, I know where you at. I can feel you, and I can, it doesn't take my energy. If you're riding me, you're detaching, and like I'm scared every time I move. It's taking my energy if I'm on bottom.
We've heard from Joe Rogan and guys like DC that you've trained with, and your teammates, guys like Kane, how impactful your jiu-jitsu was on the ground, how good you were on the floor, your kicks. But as an all-around fighter, you obviously understand the difference. How different is MMA jiu-jitsu compared to normal jiu-jitsu? Because we're starting to see the rise of wrestling right now. And like you said, how impactful wrestling is. You talk a lot about riding guys, but we see a lot of people instantly go for a submission. They don't get the submission, and then they just try to stay in control by holding the grip, like you just said.
That's the thing about jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu gets very stale, and you'll be complacent in positions. And wrestling, there's no complacency. You're constantly, it's hard-nosed, like the work, the preparation. You're constantly grinding. And that's what builds champions. That's what builds toughness that endures those longer fights. If you have fight in you. I mean, there's a lot of wrestlers that are competitors that break because they're competitors and they're not fighters.